The grand chamber of the Galactic Council stretched high into the artificial sky of Station Prime. Its walls shimmered with a soft blue light that came from thousands of memory crystals, each holding the history of a different alien civilization. Admiral Hejun walked slowly toward the center platform, his crystalline body catching and reflecting the light in rainbow patterns across the floor. Today would be the most important day of his long life. He had to make them understand. He had to make them listen. The council members sat in rising rows that formed a complete circle around him. There were 52 of them, each representing a different spacefaring civilization. Some looked almost like humans with their soft bodies and bilateral symmetry. Others were as different from humans as Hejun himself, with bodies made of crystal, gas, or pure energy. Head Counselor Youngmai spoke first. Her voice was calm and measured. Admiral Hejun of the Crystalline Directive, you have called this emergency meeting. You claim to have urgent information about species 7249, known as humans. Please present your findings. Hejun activated his universal translator. His crystal body hummed as he began to speak. Honored Council, I come before you today not just as an admiral, but as the last surviving member of the observation team that has studied Earth for the past 300 years. Murmurs spread through the chamber. The Crystalline Directive was known for their patient, thorough studies of developing civilizations. They never rushed their judgments. If Hejun was here, something important must have changed. 3 centuries ago, humans had just begun to use steam power, Hejun continued. Today, they have computers, satellites, and the beginning of space travel. But their technology is not why I am here. I am here because of what makes humans different from every other species we have ever studied. Commander Kita of the Militant Alliance snorted from his seat. His scaled skin rippled with barely hidden contempt. Different. They're not even unified under one government. They still fight among themselves over resources and territory. They're barely more than animals. Hejun turned to face Kita directly. That is exactly the kind of thinking that makes them dangerous. You see their divisions as weakness. But have you studied their history? Do you understand what happens when humans unite against a common enemy? The Admiral waved his crystalline arm, and a holographic display appeared in the center of the chamber. It showed scenes from human history, battles, inventions, disasters, and triumphs. Look at their Second World War, Hejun said. In just 6 years, they went from primitive propeller aircraft to jet engines. Their understanding of atomic physics jumped forward by decades because they needed better weapons. When humans are threatened, they don't just fight, they innovate. Counselor Da-hyun, another member of the Militant Alliance, leaned forward. So they can build weapons quickly. Many species can do that. What makes them so special? It's not their ability to build weapons that makes them unique, Hejun replied. It's their persistence, their determination, their ability to pass on their grudges from generation to generation. He changed the holographic display to show more recent events. Look at their response to natural disasters. When their cities flood, they don't just rebuild. They build better flood walls. When earthquakes destroy their buildings, they don't just repair. They develop new construction methods. They learn from every failure. The chamber grew quiet as Hejun continued his presentation. But most importantly, humans never forget their enemies. They have something they call revenge. It's not just about winning a fight. It's about making sure their enemies regret ever starting the fight in the first place. Youngmai raised her hand, stopping Hejun's presentation. Admiral, you speak of their persistence and their capacity for revenge. But surely their limited technology makes them harmless to spacefaring civilizations. Hejun's crystal body pulsed with urgent light patterns. That is the most dangerous assumption we could make. Yes, their technology is primitive by our standards. But consider this. It took most species in this chamber over 1,000 years to go from discovering electricity to achieving spaceflight. Humans did it in less than 200 years. He played another sequence of images showing human technological progress. They don't advance in a steady, logical way like most species. They make huge leaps forward during times of crisis. The more you threaten them, the faster they advance. And they are very, very good at turning their enemies' weapons against them. A new council member, Min Ho of the Trading Guilds, spoke up. Are you suggesting we should fear them? They haven't even colonized their own moon yet. Fear? No, Hejun replied. Respect? Yes. Understanding? Absolutely. He paused, making sure he had everyone's attention. Let me tell you about something that happened just 50 years ago on Earth. A group of humans were kidnapped by pirates from a less developed part of their world. Most species would pay the ransom. Some would send negotiators. Do you know what these humans did? The chamber was silent, waiting. They sent a small team of soldiers halfway across their world. These soldiers tracked the pirates to their base, rescued the kidnapped humans, and eliminated every single pirate. But that's not the impressive part. The impressive part is that they made sure everyone knew they did it. They sent a message. If you harm our people, there is nowhere you can hide. Hejun's crystal body pulsed with emphasis. Now imagine what they would do if an alien civilization attacked their planet. They wouldn't just fight back. They wouldn't just try to win. They would make it their species' mission to hunt down every member of that civilization. They would pass that mission down to their children, and their children's children. They would never stop, never forget, and never forgive. The Admiral looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes or sensory organs of each council member. That is why I am here today. Because I have heard rumors that some members of this council see Earth as an easy target, a primitive world rich in resources and labor. I am here to tell you that attacking Earth would be the biggest mistake any civilization could make. Councillor Dahyun stood up, his scales rattling with anger. This is absurd. You're telling us to fear a species that can barely reach their own orbit. The Militant Alliance has conquered dozens of worlds more advanced than Earth. Yes, Hejun agreed quietly. You have conquered worlds. But how many of those conquered peoples are still fighting back? How many have learned to use your own weapons against you? How many have sworn blood oaths to hunt down your people until the end of time? He changed the holographic display one final time, showing scenes of human celebration, human mourning, human determination. Humans are different. They don't just adapt, they evolve. They don't just fight, they wage war. They don't just remember, they obsess. And most importantly, they never, ever give up. Young Maya raised her hand again. Admiral Hejun, you have given us much to think about. But surely you understand that we cannot make policy based on one species' potential for revenge. I understand completely, Hejun replied. I am not here to make policy. I am here to give you a warning. Do not attack the humans. They will not surrender. They will not negotiate. They will hunt you forever. And they will teach their children to hunt you, and their children's children, until either you are destroyed or they are. The Admiral's crystal body dimmed slightly, showing his fatigue. I have spent 300 years studying humans. I have watched them overcome disasters that should have destroyed them. I have seen them turn their greatest enemies into their strongest allies. I have witnessed their capacity for both incredible kindness and terrifying revenge. He looked around the chamber one last time. The choice is yours. But remember my warning. Because if you choose to attack Earth, you won't just be starting a war. You'll be creating an enemy that will never stop hunting you. And someday, when humans have mastered space travel and reversed engineered your technology, you will remember this day. You will remember that I warned you. With those final words, Admiral Hejun bowed to the council and walked slowly out of the chamber. Behind him, the council erupted into heated debate. Some demanded immediate action to contain the human threat. Others called for more observation and study. A few wise ones suggested leaving Earth completely alone. But in the private chambers of the Militant Alliance, Commander Kita was already making plans. He saw only a primitive world, rich in resources, defended by primitive weapons. He didn't believe Hejun's warnings about human persistence and revenge. 6 months later, he would learn just how wrong he was. But by then, it would be too late. The humans would be coming, and they would never, ever stop. Commander Kita stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Starbreaker, watching Earth grow larger on the main screen. His scaled skin glittered under the soft blue lights of the command center. The planet below looked peaceful, mostly blue and white, with patches of green and brown. It seemed hard to believe that such a beautiful world could house the dangerous species Admiral Hejun had warned them about. "All ships report ready, Commander," said his second-in-command, Captain Sunho. "The fleet is in position. We can begin the attack at your command." Keita nodded slowly. "Show me the target list one more time." A holographic map appeared in front of him, showing Earth with red dots marking their targets. The militant alliance had spent months planning this attack. They had chosen military bases, government centers, and major transportation hubs. The plan was simple: hit hard, hit fast, and force a quick surrender. "Their primitive sensors won't detect us until it's too late," Sunho said with confidence. "Our ships are using the latest cloaking technology. They won't know what hit them." Keita remembered Hejun's warning about human persistence, but he pushed the thought away. "Begin the attack. All ships, fire on my mark." The first wave of attacks hit Earth like thunder from a clear sky. Energy beams cut through the atmosphere, striking military bases around the world. Massive explosions lit up the night side of the planet, while pillars of smoke rose from the day side. In her underground bunker beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Yeonhee of the United States Space Force watched in horror as reports flooded in. The aliens had hit every major military installation simultaneously. Casualties were mounting by the second. "Get me connected to every surviving command center," she ordered. Her aide, Lieutenant Jaiho, worked quickly at the communications console. "Ma'am, we have connections with European Command, Asian Strategic Command, and what's left of Pacific Command," Jaiho reported. "The Russians and Chinese are also online." Yeonhee took a deep breath. This would be the most important speech of her life. "To all commands, this is General Yeonhee. We are under attack by an alien force. This is not a drill. As of this moment, I am declaring Case Orange. All Earth military forces are now under unified command." She paused, letting that sink in. Case Orange was a protocol that had been created after scientists discovered the first signs of alien civilizations. It placed all Earth's military forces under one command structure to face an extraterrestrial threat. "To all nuclear powers, do not, I repeat, do not launch nuclear weapons. Our enemies are in orbit. Nuclear detonations in the atmosphere would hurt us more than them. Instead, implement Protocol Scatter immediately. Get our people out of the cities. Move them underground. We need to preserve as much of our population as possible." Back on the Starbreaker, Keita frowned at the tactical display. Something wasn't right. "Why haven't they launched their nuclear weapons?" he asked. "Our intelligence said that would be their first response to a major attack." Sunho checked the sensor readings. "Sir, they're doing something else. Their populations are moving. Not running in panic, but moving in organized groups. They're following some kind of plan." "Impossible," Keita said. "They couldn't have planned for this. They didn't even know we existed until today. But they had planned for it. In secret bunkers and hidden facilities around the world, humanity's contingency plans were spinning into action. The aliens didn't know it, but Earth's governments had been preparing for this possibility for decades. In a hidden facility beneath Seoul, Dr. Minji, Earth's leading expert in materials science, pulled up the files she had hoped she would never need to use. "Get me connected to every major research facility still standing," she ordered her team. "It's time to implement Project Phoenix." Project Phoenix was humanity's secret weapon development program, created specifically for an alien invasion scenario. For years, the world's best scientists had been studying fragments of crashed alien probes and signals from deep space, preparing for this day. To all facilities, Minji announced, "This is a code black authorization. All classified projects are now active. Share everything. I don't care about patents or national secrets anymore. We need to pool our knowledge if we're going to survive." Back in her bunker, General Yun, he received the first reports of human counterattacks. They were small things, desperate things, but they showed humanity's spirit. Civilian pilots crashed their planes into alien landing craft. Amateur radio operators coordinated resistance movements. Hackers launched attacks against any alien signals they could detect. "Ma'am," Jaho called out, "you need to see this. The Indians and Pakistanis, they're working together. The Israelis and Palestinians too. Everyone's cooperating." Yun-hee allowed herself a small smile. "Nothing unites humans like a common enemy, Lieutenant." In orbit, Kita was becoming increasingly frustrated. His forces had destroyed most of Earth's military infrastructure, but the humans weren't surrendering. Instead, they were adapting. When his ships tried to land, they found the landing zones mined or sabotaged. When they used their energy weapons, the humans studied the effects and quickly developed crude but effective shields. "Sir," Sunho reported, "we've lost contact with Ground Force 3. The humans. They captured one of our landing craft. They're taking it apart while fighting off our recovery teams." Keita slammed his scaled fist on his command console. "That's impossible. Their technology is centuries behind ours." But it was happening. All across Earth, humans were doing what they did best: learning, adapting, and fighting back. In underground labs, scientists worked around the clock to understand alien technology. In hidden factories, engineers modified Earth weapons to better fight the invaders. In makeshift hospitals, doctors learned to treat wounds from alien weapons. Dr. Minji's voice crackled over the emergency broadcast system. "To all resistance forces, we've figured out their shield frequency. Their ships are vulnerable to electromagnetic pulses. Start converting nuclear power plants into EMP weapons, and keep bringing us captured technology. Every piece helps us understand them better." The aliens had expected to find a primitive species, easy to conquer. Instead, they found an enemy that refused to give up, that learned from every defeat, that grew stronger with every attack. 3 months into the invasion, Kita received a message that chilled his scaled skin. Human scientists had successfully reverse-engineered the propulsion system from a crashed alien scout ship. They weren't just fighting back anymore. They were beginning to catch up. "Sir," Sunho reported, "the humans have developed some kind of new weapon. They're using modified versions of their communication satellites too." The rest of his words were cut off as an electromagnetic pulse swept through the starbreaker, shutting down non-essential systems. On the tactical display, Kita watched in horror as similar pulses disabled a dozen other ships in his fleet. "How?" he whispered. "How are they learning so fast?" In her bunker, General Yun, he watched the success of their first major counterattack. "Send word to all commands," she ordered. "Operation Payback is now in effect. Tell our people, this is just the beginning. They came to our home thinking we would break. Instead, we will break them." The message spread across the resistance networks. Humanity wasn't just fighting for survival anymore. They were fighting for revenge, and they were learning. Every captured piece of alien technology, every crashed ship, every defeated enemy added to their knowledge. Keita finally understood what Admiral Hejun had tried to warn them about. Humans didn't just fight. They evolved. They didn't just resist. They adapted. And most terrifyingly, they didn't just want to survive. They wanted to win. As he watched another human EMP weapon disable one of his ships, Keita remembered Hejun's words. "They will hunt you forever." Looking at the determination and rapid advancement of humanity, he realized that the warning had been right. This wasn't going to be a quick conquest. This was going to be a long, brutal war of attrition, and humanity was just getting started. In the depths of her underground lab, Dr. Minji held up a piece of reversed-engineered alien technology. "Send word to General Yun-Yi," she told her team. "Tell her Project Phoenix is ready for Phase 2. We're not just going to drive them from Earth, we're going to follow them into space." The war had only just begun, and humanity was transforming itself into something new, something dangerous. They weren't just victims anymore. They were becoming hunters. And they would never, ever stop. 3 years had passed since the first alien attacks on Earth. The planet's surface was scarred from countless battles, but humanity had not only survived, they had learned to fight back. In the hidden shipyards beneath the Pacific Ocean, Admiral Sunho, who had defected from the militant alliance after seeing their brutality, watched as humans tested their first space warship. The ship was ugly by alien standards. It looked like a combination of Earth and alien technology, because that's exactly what it was. Pieces of captured alien ships had been studied, copied, and improved upon. The humans called it the Phoenix One, and it represented humanity's first step into the stars. "The test flight is ready to begin," reported Captain G1, the ship's commander. She stood proud in her new Space Force uniform, a symbol of humanity's transformation. All systems are showing green. Sunho's crystalline body glowed with pride. He had chosen to help humanity after seeing their determination to survive. "Launch when ready, Captain." The Phoenix One rose from the ocean, its engines glowing with a combination of human and alien technology. As it climbed into the sky, Sunho remembered how shocked he had been when the humans first captured an alien ship. They hadn't just taken it apart, they had improved it. In her command center deep under the Rocky Mountains, General Yun-Yi watched the launch with satisfaction. "Send word to all resistance cells," she ordered. "Operation Starfall begins today. We're taking the fight to them." Lieutenant Jeho, now a veteran of countless battles, sent the message through their secure networks. Over the past 3 years, humans had built a vast hidden network of bases throughout their solar system. They had hollowed out asteroids for shipyards and turned the dark side of the moon into a fortress. On the militant Alliance command ship, Admiral Kita paced nervously. He had been promoted after the initial invasion, but it felt more like a punishment. Nothing had gone according to plan. The humans should have surrendered years ago. Instead, they had become more dangerous with each passing day. "Sir," his new second-in-command reported, "we've lost contact with another supply convoy. That's the 3rd one this month." Kaita growled in frustration. The humans had learned to target their supply lines with terrifying efficiency. They would strike quickly, steal what they could use, and disappear before reinforcements arrived. Worse, they were learning to use the Alliance's own jump drive technology. In her laboratory on Mars Base 1, Dr. Minji worked on their latest breakthrough. She had learned more about alien technology in 3 years than she had thought possible. "The new phase shift drive is ready for testing," she told her team. "If this works, we'll be able to bypass their shields completely." The phase shift technology was just one of many innovations born from humanity's desperate fight for survival. They had taken alien concepts and applied human creativity to them, creating weapons and defenses that the Alliance had never seen before. Back on the Phoenix One, Captain Ji-1 prepared for their first combat mission. Her crew was young but well-trained. They had spent countless hours in simulators based on captured alien technology. They knew their enemies' weaknesses because they had studied every battle, every captured ship, every piece of alien tech they could find. "All hands, battle stations," Ji-1 announced. "Today we show them that humans can fight in space too." The Phoenix One's first battle was against an Alliance patrol ship. The alien vessel was more advanced in every way, but it wasn't ready for human tactics. J1's crew had studied Earth's naval warfare history, applying submarine tactics to space combat. They approached silent and invisible, using their phase shift technology to slit past the alien shields. "Target their engine core," Jai-1 ordered, just like we practiced. The battle lasted less than 5 minutes. The Alliance ship never had a chance to call for help. As her crew secured their first victory, Jai-1 sent a message back to Earth. The hunt has begun. In his private quarters, Admiral Kita reviewed the latest intelligence reports with growing dread. The humans weren't just defending anymore. They were attacking. They had bases hidden throughout their solar system, and they were getting better at using stolen Alliance technology. "Sir," his aide interrupted, "we've lost contact with Forward Base 7. The humans, they've developed some kind of new weapon. They're not just disabling our ships anymore. They're taking them." Keita remembered Admiral Hejun's warning about human persistence. He had dismissed it 3 years ago, but now he understood. The humans weren't fighting to survive anymore. They were fighting to win, to learn, to become stronger. At Mars Base 1, Dr. Minji made another breakthrough. She had found a way to track Alliance ships through their own jump drives. "Send word to all our ships," she told her assistant. "We can follow them now. No matter where they run, we can find them." The news spread through human forces like wildfire. They had spent 3 years learning to fight in space, and now they could track their enemies anywhere. The hunt was about to enter a new phase. General Yun, he called a meeting of Earth's Unified Command. The room was filled with military leaders from every nation, all working together now. "Phase 2 of Operation Starfall is ready," she announced. "We've confirmed that the Alliance has bases in nearby star systems. Thanks to Dr. Minji's work, we can reach them." The plan was ambitious but simple. Earth would send its new fleet to attack Alliance bases. They would steal more technology, gather more intelligence, and continue to learn and adapt. Each victory would make them stronger. Each captured ship would teach them more. On the Phoenix 1, Captain Jai-1 prepared her crew for their first jump to another star system. "Remember your training," she told them. "We're not just fighters anymore. We're hunters, and we will show the Alliance why they should have listened to Admiral Hejun's warning." The ship's new jump drive hummed to life, creating a portal in space. As they prepared to make history as humanity's first interstellar hunters, Jai-1 thought about how far they had come. 3 years ago, they had been victims. Now they were warriors, scientists, and explorers, all driven by a single purpose: to ensure that no alien species would ever threaten Earth again. In his command ship, Admiral Kita received reports of human ships appearing in other star systems. They weren't just fighting in their solar system anymore. They were expanding, hunting, learning. The Alliance had wanted to conquer a primitive species, but instead, they had created something new: a race of warriors who combined human determination with alien technology. Dr. Minji's voice echoed through the secure channels. "All ships, this is Mars Base 1. The new targeting systems are ready. No more hit-and-run attacks. Today, we start taking their bases." The human fleet moved through space with growing confidence. They had spent 3 years preparing for this moment. They had hidden, learned, and adapted. Now they were ready to show the galaxy why Admiral Hejun's warning had been so important. The chase had truly begun, and humanity was proving to be a terrifying hunter. 10 years had passed since the first alien attacks on Earth. The galaxy had changed in ways no one could have predicted. In the grand chamber of the Galactic Council, now scared and dimmed from years of war, Admiral Hejun stood once again. His crystalline body showed signs of age, but his voice remained strong as he addressed what remained of the council. 10 years ago, I stood in this chamber and warned you about humans," he said. "Today, I stand here to tell you what your mistake has cost us all." The chamber was half empty now. Many council members had fled when human ships started appearing in their systems. Those who remained looked tired and afraid. Head Councilor Young Mei, her face now lined with worry, gestured for Hejun to continue. "The humans have taken 37 Alliance bases in the past year alone," Hejun reported. "They have captured and improved upon our most advanced technology. But that is not the worst part. The worst part is what they have become. On the bridge of the starship Revenge, formerly the Phoenix One, Captain Jai-1 watched her tactical display. Her ship had changed over the years, just as humanity had changed. They had added alien technology piece by piece, improving it with human innovation. The ugly combination of human and alien tech had evolved into something new and dangerous. Status report, Jai-1 ordered. Her crew, veterans of countless battles, worked with quiet efficiency. We have tracked the Alliance fleet to the Centauri system, her tactical officer reported. They're trying to establish a new base there. Dr. Minji's new sensors are working perfectly. They can't hide from us anymore. Jai-1 allowed herself a small smile. The Alliance still hadn't learned. They kept trying to run, to hide, to regroup. They didn't understand that humans never stopped hunting their prey. In her command center on Mars, now the headquarters of humanity's space forces, General Yun, he reviewed the latest battle reports. The walls of her office were covered with star maps showing human expansion into the galaxy. Green dots marked captured Alliance bases, while red dots showed their remaining strongholds. Send word to all fleet commanders, she ordered. Operation Final Hunt is approved. It's time to end this war. Lieutenant Jiho, now a senior intelligence officer, nodded. The Alliance is running out of places to hide, he said. Their own allies are turning against them, afraid of attracting human attention. That was another thing the Alliance hadn't expected. As humans pushed deeper into space, other alien species had seen their determination, their adaptability, and their relentless pursuit of their enemies. Many had chosen to help humans rather than risk becoming their next target. In his hidden bunker on a distant world, Admiral Kite received the reports with growing despair. The humans had evolved beyond anything he could have imagined. They had taken Alliance technology and improved it in ways that seemed impossible. Sir, his last remaining aide reported, the humans have developed something new. They're calling it the Starbreaker weapon. It's based on our own technology, but they've changed it, made it more powerful. Kaita laughed bitterly at the irony. The humans had named their new weapon after his old flagship, the one they had captured and studied years ago. They had a habit of doing that, taking things from their enemies and turning them into symbols of their revenge. At the research facility on Alpha Centauri, Dr. Minji put the finishing touches on humanity's latest innovation. She had spent 10 years studying alien technology, finding ways to improve it, to combine it with human ideas. The results had transformed humanity into a technological power that rivaled any in the galaxy. The new drive system is ready, she announced to her team. With this, our ships can jump farther than any Alliance vessel. We can strike anywhere in the galaxy. Back in the council chamber, Hojun continued his report. The humans have surpassed us in many ways, he said. Not because they are smarter or stronger, but because they never stop trying to improve. Every defeat teaches them. Every victory makes them stronger. Young Mai leaned forward. What do they want? Surely after 10 years of war, they must be ready for peace. Hajun's crystal body pulsed with sad colors. They want what they have always wanted, to ensure that no one will ever threaten their world again. But now they have the power to enforce that wish. On the Revenge, Captain Jai-1 received new orders from Earth Command. The message was simple. Find them all. All hands, battle stations, Jai-1 announced. Today we show the galaxy why Earth can never be threatened again. The human fleet moved through space with terrifying efficiency. They had learned to use jump drives better than their inventors. They had developed weapons that could bypass any shield. They had created detection systems that could find any hidden ship. In his bunker, Admiral Kita watched as human ships appeared in system after system. They weren't just fighting anymore. They were hunting down every last remnant of the militant Alliance. Their ships moved with purpose, their attacks were precise, and their technology was overwhelming. They were right, he whispered to himself. They really did hunt us forever. At Mars Command, General Yun, he received the reports of another successful operation. The alliance was crumbling. Their once mighty fleets were reduced to scattered ships trying to hide in distant systems. But the humans would find them. They always did. "Send a message to all human forces," she ordered. "The lessons we learned in this war will never be forgotten. We will pass them down to our children and our children's children. The galaxy must understand. Earth is not to be threatened." In the council chamber, He-Jun made his final point. "The humans have become what I warned you about," he said. "Not just warriors, but hunters. Not just survivors, but conquerors. They have taken our technology and made it better. They have taken our weapons and made them stronger. They have taken our threats and turned them into their strength." Young Mei and the remaining council members sat in silence, understanding at last the magnitude of their mistake. They had ignored He-Jun's warning, and in doing so, they had created something new in the galaxy, a species that combined the determination of humanity with the advanced technology of spacefaring civilizations. On Earth, in the rebuilt cities and underground bunkers, children learned the history of the war. They learned about the aliens who had attacked their world, about the sacrifices their parents had made, and about the importance of always being ready. They learned that humanity had not just survived. They had evolved. The galaxy had changed. The old powers had fallen, and a new force had risen. Humanity had gone from being a primitive species confined to one world to becoming one of the most feared and respected powers in known space. And it had all started because the Galactic Council had ignored a simple warning: do not attack the humans. They will hunt you forever. They had learned their lesson. But for the militant alliance, it was too late. The hunt would continue until the last of them was found. Because humans never forgot, never forgave, and never, ever stopped.